Hey guys, my name is Alex and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be showing you guys a world on Space Engineers I built, which is currently on the workshop. So this world is called Ship Arsenal, and it's something that I spent a fair few amount of hours on, and I'm very proud of it actually. So basically what this world is I basically retrofitted the entire Easy Start 1 to make it a billion times better. So I'm going to start by showing you guys the red ship and how I managed to change the whole thing essentially. So in the bay here I have the bomber, which I took the original constructor, which is still up there, and I basically converted it down into a very deadly machine that has 12 reloadable rocket launchers on it, which is ridiculous. Right now, however, these ships are placeholders. I do plan on building my own bomber and my own constructor and everything. It's just for the time being to kind of get the atmosphere and to kind of show what is going to be going inside of this eventually once it's done, because this world is still very much in alpha. Well, for the workshop it is, and like I'm constantly building it and it's constantly updating on the workshop. So yeah, okay, so now these are the two fighters. This one's basically just a default fighter with the new cockpit in it, so nothing really changed there. Okay, also you'll notice around the ship I have put cameras in places and a few other little things like that. So let's jump into here now. Let's go left first. Okay, so we go left here, and nothing really changed in here, so nothing really impressive. However, we go into here, and again looks pretty the same, except for there is an assembler. And I realized I said it looks pretty the same. Yeah, okay. So there's an assembler here. So this assembler is hooked up through piping, and so is this cargo container. So it's all hooked up and wired, so you can access this assembler from anywhere on the ship that has a cargo container or a conveyor belt or a constructor. Not a constructor, a conveyor. As you will be able to see, for example, over here in the front, I forgot to actually mention, I also retrofitted the front and managed to put a conveyor in here and two cargo containers over there. So from this, for example, if I go here, first you can hook up a ship, but if I go here and I hit K or whatever, I go to like production, and you have now an assembler. Beautiful. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so we go over here now, and let's go right. So we go right, and again, this room, nothing changed. I do plan on putting something in here, just it's such a small space, I don't really know what to do with this room. But then you come in here, and we have a refinery. So essentially what I did to the ship is I made it that you can practically take it out, fly it away from the station, and it's basically survival ready. So I can basically go now into survival, or could switch into survival and play this world survival now, because this ship has a refinery and everything, and that's not including the station which you've got out here, because out here you already have a refinery and assembler. But I mean, if you didn't have that, if you just had this ship, this thing is survival ready, which is I'm pretty happy with actually. I think it turned out really nice. So you come over to this section now of the ship, and you've got a cargo container. Nothing really changed here, except for you have this. This I'll show you guys here later on, so stay tuned for that, because it's a whole of awesomeness. And you've got a camera, so nothing really changed on this level. However, we come up to this level, it looks pretty much the same, except for we come out here, and this changed. So out here, what we've got is essentially a jail. So I'm pretty happy with this, is because I did want to have a jail on the ship somewhere, but where I wasn't really too sure as to where I wanted it or how I was going to make it. And then I found this and I realized there's a lot of empty space here, and jail shouldn't be too big, so I made it decent size. It's a little bit bigger than maybe a jail should be, but it works. So you've got the glass, the dark ends facing in, so it's harder for basically the prisoners to see out. You've got a table and a bed and a small dim yellow light or brown light, but whatever. Okay, now normally what I do is I go here and I would click on do and I toggle it off, so you can't use it essentially. But right now, because people can still access that, it's kind of useless, but whatever. Okay, so then we come up here, and I'll show you what this does in a minute. But we come over here. Now this room, I put some guns in and stuff. I really wanted to change this up, because it's a lot of wasted space. The only thing is I don't know what to put in here, and I'm still thinking. But eventually this whole room will get rechanged or redone. Okay, so now we come into the cockpit area. In here I put a camera, and other than that I didn't really change much, except for the fact is that if we sit in the cockpit, you've got quite a few controls to go through. So you've got like doors and cameras and all that stuff. So I mean, it's nothing really that impressive, but whatever. So now actually I'm going to show you guys something else that I set up. So if you go here, you go to all lights. What I basically did is, if there's an emergency or red alert, if you want to call it, because that's a pretty fun word to use, you go here and you basically set the blink interval to whatever you want. I personally like to set it to kind of like 08 or 05. Actually, let's go 05. Sure. And now we've got basically red alert lights, which I'm pretty happy with. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to keep these on because I think they look pretty cool. Okay, so now we come over to this section. Now behind here, this changed dramatically. So normally there would be, right up here would be the gravity generator, and then just 2 blocks, well, not 2 blocks, but the wall, and that'd be it. Behind it I found was about 5 or 6 blocks of just empty space, which is okay. Why is it all being wasted? So I thought to myself, might as well do something useful with it. So what I did was, and yes, I am using a few mods on this, but I built a hangar essentially. This hangar fits very nicely, it works very nicely, and I'm very pleased with it. Again, this ship in here is just a placeholder until I can actually replace and build my own ships. But so right now I've got doors. Let's open them up, but let's hit that button and hit that button and run in here. Okay, so what one of those buttons did was it turned on my red alert light, and it also opened up the bay door. So we fly out now from the bay door, and we've got a really cool ship. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'll show you guys more of the outside here in a minute once I'm done showing the inside. Okay, so pretty much one of the last parts that I modified to this ship is, if we head up here, is I added an entire crew section. Because what I found is this entire section up here was just completely wasted space of blocks. Why? I don't understand it. There's so much wasted space on this ship. It unnerves me. So I had to do something with it. And I realized the ship didn't have a med bay, so it worked perfectly that I just put the med bay up here. We've got a med bay, some cryopods, some beds. Again, these are Ector Sage's beds, so go check them out. Cameras in here, some desks, nice viewing spot to basically look out. So nothing fancy. I might redo this whole section because right now it's kind of bare, but the point is that it's not being wasted anymore. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually run down here quickly and show you guys this hatch. So this hatch, if we open it up and we fall down, is essentially a hidey hole. You can basically go in here and now just hide, which is pretty cool. But you can also, let me actually turn my jetpack on and go here and then look up and go down. This goes down now one more thing down, and it brings you down to, ta-da, a hidden miner. So this hidden miner is, first thing, I don't really know where to store it, and it looked really cool back here. But second is, it can also essentially be used as an escape ship. So if you really need to get away, you can basically take this and just skedaddle. So this miner, I didn't really change much except for the fact it's just change around the engine and use the armored thrusters from the mod. However, where I put this miner, I'm really pleased with it, because if you look back here, it's completely hidden from the engine from behind, so you don't see it. And also because it's so small, even from a side shot, you barely see it. It's pretty hidden, which is really nice. That's why I used the escape hatch essentially, because it fits so much nicer and it looks so awesome. Again, all this is wired up, so like all these connectors and basically anything new that changed has all been wired up through connectors and pipes and the whole thing. Okay, so now I'll show you guys the outside of the ship. So from the back, as you can tell, I changed a fair amount. The engine nacelles I managed to basically redo to get 2 large engines in there, a small thruster, and 2 downward thrusters on each. And also I put this big engine back here. So this thing now has a thrust of a lot faster. I haven't really clocked the different speeds or anything, so yeah. From underneath, what I did was, again, I replaced a lot of the engines to put those armored thrusters in just to give it a lot more of a sleek kind of look. So under here now, I put a connector under here. This is just, again, another spot you can connect up with a ship. It's just basically, I added a lot more connectors a lot of places, so it's a lot more versatile of a ship, so you can connect to a lot more places. So on the side now also of these engine nacelles, what I did was I added thrusters, and I added thrusters over here and over there. And over here I also replaced it with 2 thrusters and I put 3 in, because I don't know why there was just 2, it just, in my opinion, was wasting space again. Now, the front. This is, I'm very pleased with this actually. I think it turned out really cool. So, I added 4 new thrusters, and I also replaced all those ones down there with, again, the armor thrusters. But just how much more awesome does that look? Like, it's so cool. And then, okay, so now we fly up here, and I also put some solar panels on this bad boy. And I also put some landing gears up top, so you can basically connect anything from the top and on the side. This is already default on the ship, but there's also connectors on the side. So this thing is very, very versatile now. You can basically connect from any direction, and it's just amazing in my opinion. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. If you guys have any modifications or anything you'd like to see, post in the comments. Also, as I mentioned before, this world is on the workshop, so you can look in the links down in the description for that, and just mess around with the world, play with it, modify it yourself, and I'm really hoping you guys will do something with this world. So now onto here. So these are again the default ships, and basically what I did was I first started messing around with these to kind of change them, and nothing much. You already saw a lot of these except for this one. So what I did is I took the miner and I converted it essentially into a bomb. This thing basically is a remote control piloted bomb. You fly it out, and then once you get close you turn off the safety, and you can either fly into a ship or fly actually inside of it and then detonate from within. So it's basically just a flyable massive remote control bomb, which I think is pretty cool. I want to put it on the red ship, just I haven't figured out where yet. I haven't really found a spot that I'm really happy that suits it, but in time I will, and I might even change this up so it may work to my needs better. Now on to the last part. So these two ships are actually brand new and currently aren't on the workshop. I'm going to be updating the world once this video goes live, so you'll be able to actually play with these also. So these two are my police fighters. So I'll start with this one because this one is changed from the default fighter. So what I did is essentially I added more guns, and again all connected through piping. So these 6 guns now are all connected and it works a lot nicer. What I did is I changed a lot of this armor into heavy armor. I repainted it. I added a big engine here. I added cameras on every single direction, as you can see. There's one up top, sides, bottom, back, front. I added connectors or mag locks or landing gear, whatever you want to call them, on every side also, so the police the police ship can essentially attach itself to any ship on any direction anytime it needs to. So you can basically escort or whatever. This thing is also remote control, so if the pilot gets killed or anything, you can always remote control this bad boy out, or you can even just have a fleet of them just remote control them. So instead of actually sending proper pilots out, you can just do remote control for like recon or something. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Also what I did was I added the lights on it and everything. Also because of the amount of power I had to throw into this thing, because as you can see it's got double engines in the back, I kept getting to the point where it was overloading in terms of power usage. So I managed to fix that by putting more reactors on it. So this thing is beautiful. It looks awesome in my opinion. It's very powerful, it's very strong, fast, and just overall I'm pretty pleased with it. Now this one over here, this is my own design. So I wanted to make something really compact. So I started basically with the cockpit, and on the back is literally just engines. That's basically what this is. This 2 block wide, just engines. So you're wondering where's all the important stuff? All the important stuff is in these 2 side nacelles, if you will. You've got the gyroscope, nuclear reactor, you've got a remote control and an antenna. So all the important stuff. You also have just 2 rocket launchers. There's no turrets on this because if I would have done that, then I would have had to have a cargo container and piping, and I really didn't feel like doing that. And just for simplicity's sake and for speed's sake and everything, I just wanted to keep it as simple as I could. So again, this thing does have cameras on every direction just like the other one, and it is also, as if you look here, heavy armor. Not everything is, but a fair amount of it is. So it can take a pretty big beating, and the speed of it is very fast, which I'll show you guys here in a minute. So it also has the landing gears on every direction so it can connect. So overall, these 2 police ships I'm very pleased with, and I think they suit very well. And also if you're wondering as to why I have landing gears on this thing, is another idea I had with this ship is you can basically take it, and with this ship I want to basically build a massive carrier that can store maybe 2 or 3 of these things in it. So you can basically then fly this up into it from the bottom and basically just connect up, and then once it's needed it can basically deploy. So that's kind of my goal with this, is So like the ideas I have with this world are still very big. So even if right now you don't want to download it, just maybe stay on top of it, or not subscribe to it, maybe favorite it or rate it or something, so that you see when it's being updated constantly. Because I do really want to update this world a lot. I'm very pleased with it so far, and I'm enjoying myself a lot with it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys these two vehicles in terms of the speed. So if you're wondering why I'm copying it, is because when I was building that one, I flew it away and I kind of smashed into that. So I kind of lost that bit, and I really didn't like rebuilding it. So just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to take a copy. So if you look down at the speed, I want you guys to, I'm not going to count, but you see how quick it speeds up. So from my calculations, it's around 10 seconds ish. It will get to 104, which isn't bad in my opinion. That's actually really good for a police vehicle like this, because if you're tailgating a ship or anything, most ships won't be able to speed up that quick. And also, if I go here, it's just mayhem of gun. So I'm honestly very happy with the way this turned out. And you can also turn on the lights, so it's pretty cool. So let's get out of this and let's delete you. And now let's show you the last police ship. And again, I'm probably going to be building something along the size of this size to house these things and have an actual like police fighter, like much bigger. So basically these like little fighter drones, and you've got that. Oh, also I forgot to mention, this does have remote control also. So all the police vehicles will have remote control as I'm building them, because that's probably the key feature that I wanted with them. What am I doing? Get in the... There we go. So let's turn on my lights. And this also looks just so cool with the lights, like I love it. Okay, so I'm going to fly over here now. And I want you guys to look at the speed of this thing. Just look at that sheer speed this thing accelerates at. That's impressive. And I clocked this around 7.5 to 8 seconds. So that's like, honestly, that's ridiculously impressive for something this size. I mean, obviously you can make something way faster. Like if I just basically made this and I just stuck engines on the back, of course I can make it go faster, but for like a designed ship and everything, and for a purposed ship, I think that's pretty impressive. Well, at least it's probably the fastest I've ever made, so I'm very happy with this and very pleased with it. So this is basically all I wanted to show you guys today. This world, again, is in the workshop, so if you do want to go play around with it, the link for that will be in the description. Also, please subscribe to my channel if you want to be seeing more Space Engineers content and maybe update videos of this world, because that's something I'm definitely planning on doing. So for now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys all later.